Can you do a warm welcome once again to Don and Julie for coming back up and communicating with us? This is our time for Q&A. So we have 5 minutes for Q&A, just a chance for you to ask openly for all of us to hear. If you have a burning question, now's your moment, and then we'll go on to our next thing. The floor is yours. Yes, and say your name real quick.
Denise.
Denise, go for it.
So, in respect to what you're speaking about, like when you're with other people, one of the things that I do is like, okay, if I'm at dinner with a friend, that's it. Phones are off unless you're telling me there's an emergency that you have to be on. But how are you convincing your friends without being obnoxious about it? That, hey, just do this or just do that, or do you, because they don't have that recognition of how much it's affecting their lives.
So I've been speaking about this for about a year now, with all of the people that I hang out with being part of the audience. So they all, my husband laughs. He's like, everybody's scared of you, and they put their phones away, which I don't think is true, but maybe. He's like, they all have better habits when you're around. You know that, right? They're not like this when you're not there. And I was like, no, I don't know, but like maybe that's true. But I mean, I don't tell people. I don't tell people that I want them to put their phones away, except in my own family. I insist on that in my own home. When children come over to play, if they have a phone, I ask that they put it in a basket with mine, and so we put them away as a general rule. But when I'm with a peer, I don't, but I stop talking. That is something that I do. If they flip their phone over, I just stop. Because I like the light also. I want to be looked at, and no, I like to be paid attention to. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep talking. I'll wait, like a teacher. I'll wait. So but I don't ask anybody to. I don't know.
You had a question?
Yeah.
And say your name.
I'm David, and this question's for Don. So you mentioned earlier about secondary agency, and part of my job actually actively, kind of in the corporate level, right, is trying to automate a lot of those decision making to AI internally. So my question is, how do we keep ourselves and the corporations accountable, or in your opinion, how do we do that when the metrics nowadays say, oh, like so-and-so have similar decision error rates as humans, right? How do we still say that at the end of the day there needs to be someone who's accountable for everything?
Yeah, well, kind of like a lot of the device stuff, you can't do it on your own, right? You have to have a culture and a society where that's expected, and that happens through regulation, it happens through technological development, it happens through economic pressure and social pressure. But I would say a good example of that is credit scores. For a long time, credit scores, your number from like 0 to 800 that says you can get a car or a credit card, were black boxes. And that got a lot of pushback, so that now, even though they're complicated algorithms, when you go to see an evaluation of your credit score, you see, well, this is what made it go up, this is what made it go down. But that happened not because the companies wanted them to, but because they were forced to by lawsuits and regulators and public pressure. So it's not going to happen just through some technological fix or some simple thing. It's going to require us all to say, I don't want to be at the mercy of an algorithm that said no. Like, tell me why. Or if you're not going to tell me why, provide me an alternative or something. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Burning question, yes, in the back, and say your name.
My name is Rosario.
Rosario.
I am wondering how copyright laws will have to change to have the training of AI, large language models into account, because a lot of it is coming from content, a lot of it, not all of it, is coming from content that already exists and is created by someone that is worried about certain topics, right? And combining all of that together. But how would the future of copyright and copyright law have to change to have that into account, and how do you see that happening?
Yeah, so if I understand the question is you're bringing to the forefront the idea that the large language models are trained on material that's copyrighted without having to pay the person that produced the material, so like DALL-E or ChatGPT. I don't know, but I will say that there are a lot of startups that are trying very hard to do that, because if you can come up with a way to do that, you're going to make a lot of money, because you're going to go to the New York Times and you're going to say, New York Times, I've got a technology that's going to tell you when some chatbot is using your articles, and they're going to have to license it from you. So I've had about 3 conversations with venture capitalists in the last month about trying to solve this problem. So I don't know what the answer is. There are some ways that we can do model evaluation that maybe lean towards it, but I will tell you that you don't really have to worry too much about it, because a lot of people want it to happen and there's money behind it. So like, it's gonna be okay.